Why are corporate estate agency CEOs so shy? Today, I'm joined by Russell Quirk, one of the most controversial people in UK estate agency. Russell, why are estate agency CEOs so shy? Talk to me.
So this isn't going to go down very well, I'm afraid, in terms of my opinion here. We've talked about brand, you and I, and the importance of building brand, promoting brand, and how estate agents aren't very good at it. The same applies to, I think, what I would call the embarrassment of large estate agency businesses, bosses being rather shy, rather camera shy, having their heads below the parapet. Now, I think for two reasons, that is a real travesty. And let's look, I'm not casting aspersions about any one particular company because I think they're pretty much all to blame, right? But when was the last time, whether it's on a podcast or a video on LinkedIn, or even an opinion piece in Property Industry Eye or Estate Agent Today or The Negotiator, we heard from the bosses of Connells Countrywide, Leaders Romans, Purple Bricks, although they've had many bosses over the last few months, and so on, LSL. I mean, I genuinely, as I'm sitting here now thinking, I can't even name the person that runs LSL anymore. I don't even know, right? Savills, the same. So Savills, Knight Frank, people say, yeah, but they do PR all the time. Yeah, they do, but that's research based. We never hear from the CEO, senior partner, stroke MD of the biggest 10, 15 estate agency businesses in Britain. And I think that's embarrassing.
Verona.
Yes, Yopa, much more. And Foxtons, Guy Gittins, even though he runs a public business where he has to be very careful about what he says because he can move the share price. Adam Day at EXP, much more vocal. But the majority of the biggest 10 or 15 estate agency businesses in the country, and I would say particularly the old traditional ones like Connells Countrywide, LSL, and so on, and Savills and Knight Frank, they're mute. They just don't say anything. So I think they're missing a trick. Back to the point about every business should have a figurehead. Every business, I think, needs to have a person behind it that is the accountable person as part of the brand. But here's the other thing. And I've never worked for a big corporate, but I would imagine if I worked for Connells or Countrywide, Connells Countrywide as it is now, or LSL, with all of their branches and all of their employees, and if I didn't see the boss, and there may be some internal stuff going on, of course, in terms of comms, but if I didn't see the boss on the telly a little bit, or in an opinion piece, or on social media, or on a LinkedIn video, or on a podcast, I'd be thinking, well, what are they ashamed of? Why don't they want to be out there talking about this lovely business and us as a team? Why don't they want to be talking about the brand or the property market or licensing or whatever? And I won't say who, but it was relayed to me when I was trying to get somebody on the industry's biggest and most popular podcast, compared to yours. Of course, you are a good number 2, by the way. I just had to get that in. But when I was trying to get somebody on, it was relayed to me. It was a big corporate, and it was a CEO of that big corporate. I quote, "No, I've got more to lose going on than gaining by going on." And I thought, what an absolutely outrageous thing to say. So that makes me think that you're not very good at your job, frankly, because if you can't handle a shrinking violet like me or you on a podcast, who are obviously just going to give people an easy time, if you're that worried about what they might ask you.
Because both of us give editorial control.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, within reason. Yeah. I mean, someone says something really juicy, then retracts it. Okay, I think we're keeping that in. But you do more than I do.
I give full editorial control.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit less liberal than that, but with Mr. Jervis on the 2 Russells. But anyway, the point is, I think it might give us an indication of either their lack of ability or their lack of confidence in their own ability, their lack of confidence in facing the public. But it's just, I think it's really shortchanging not just potential customers and existing customers, it's shortchanging their own staff. Now, you could say of me, oh yeah, but it's all right for you at eMove, you popped up on bloody this, that and the other, left, right and centre. Believe me, that wasn't solely about my ego, although I do, fun enough, have a a very small ego. I do. Honestly, hard to see sometimes, but I do have a small ego. It was about
You were
flying.
UK's most humblest man, didn't you?
Exactly. It was about flying the flag. It was about pushing eMove and being a personality behind the eMove brand, or in front of the eMove brand almost, to give it more credibility. When do we hear from the? I mean, I think the Connells countrywide.
Do you even know who it is?
Well, it's Allison or Helen. Don't know, one of the two. Fairly new. Just sacked a load of people. But again, we shouldn't only see a name in a press release because she just fired her executive team. Why isn't she talking about the property market? Why isn't she on Sky News or Talk or GB News or the BBC more talking about, well, actually, this is how the property market's going to turn out in 2025. Oh, by the way, yeah, the Renter Rights Act, Angela Rayner's thing, yeah, well, I wouldn't be too worried about that because, I mean, commentary, advice, show you're an expert, and talk about the business.
And it attracts,
like Guy
it attracts people into the business.
Yeah, but Guy Gittins, even though he's got to be really careful, he probably gets told off by his, his compliance people sometimes. When their viewers and their offers and their conversion rate and their pipeline increase, he goes out and tells people. He says, "Oh, our pipeline." I think he did this fairly recently. He did it back in January. Yeah, our pipeline is the highest it's been since Foxtons was incepted. And you think, well, that's great to know. But what do the negs and the listers and the branch managers think? They go, "Oh, we're Foxtons. Our pipeline's the highest it's ever been." You don't hear that from Chestertons. You're not hearing that from Leaders Romans, or not even Dexters. I mean, you just don't hear from these bloody people.
And your advice would be for them to get themselves out there, put themselves up as a
yeah. And again, it really isn't a pitch for PR. It really, really isn't, right? It's just in other sectors, in other industries, there's a narrative, there's a personality.
And I believe there is lots of proof that if the CEO is at the front being visual, it actually increases the business.
Well, we go back to the Richard Branson, Elon Musk type thing, don't we? Because there's a credibility and an accountability attached to it. So I'd love to know answers on a postcard, maybe in the comments, why, and I guess they'd have to do it anonymously, why CEOs and MDs of big estate agency businesses are too scared to put their head above the parapet.
If you are a CEO of any firm in the top 20 or 30 estate agents in the UK and letting agents, and you're brave enough, is that the right word?
Yeah.
To come on either Russell's, or if you want a nicer...
Well, we do it jointly, Chris.
Well, I don't know, it depends.
Gang up. I mean, a collaboration.
I'm up for a collaboration. Watkin and Russell, or Russell and...
The two Russells and Chris.
Quirky and Watkin. Something like that. I'm up for that. I'm up for that. But again, choice is yours. But again, your business will be more healthier. You will attract better, more staff and better colleagues. And you should be able to sell more houses as well and get more listings.
There you go. What's not to like?
It's a win-win. Thanks for your time today.